Well, hi there everyone and welcome. Today's recipe is for another meal in a jar. This one is for cream of asparagus soup. This recipe is based on my grandmom's recipe, and she always added some heavy cream to her soup, and she put a little bit of cheese in it, which I thought I would do today. The Parmesan cheese is just a really nice flavor, and it deepens the flavor a little bit. We're going to make our broth very flavorful using heavy cream powder, sour cream, butter powder, as well as the velouté, the chicken bouillon, and of course the veggies in there. The nice thing about using freeze-dried asparagus for this soup is that you can powder this up beforehand, light and crispy and airy, and very easily added to a blender and powdered up. Traditional cream of asparagus soup would have you cook all of these things and then put an immersion blender into your soup pot, or they would maybe recommend that you blend your hot soup in batches in a blender. But we don't have to do that. We can do this on the front end. See what a nice fine powder this makes when you blend your ingredients first. So I'm going to suggest 30 seconds to a minute in a blender. You want it a very fine powder. Okay, now it's time to add the things that are going to make this into a creamy soup. And here are some yummy flavorings for this soup. This is not going to be a boring soup. This is a full of flavor and rich soup. Our seasonings are very personal. This is how I like my soup seasoned. Salt, pepper, chef's choice, and the garlic powder. Of course, if you don't want that much seasoning, you can just leave that out. All right, and if you want to store this on your pantry shelf, add your oxygen absorber to your jar, and you could store that just as long as your heavy cream powder is good. Mine is good for a year. So that's what you store on your pantry shelf, or I say this a lot, but it's true. That makes an excellent gift as well, because this is a just add water recipe. You're going to empty this into a medium saucepan. And there's our cloud of asparagus dust. It smells wonderful. And to that, you're going to add 3 cups of water. I always like to kind of rinse out my jar and make sure all of that good flavor gets into the soup. So that's 3 cups of water, and then you just give it a really good stir. I used a whisk here. And you'll notice as you stir this that the butter powder, sour cream, the heavy cream powder, they all have some fat in them, and it doesn't necessarily want to combine right away with the water, but it will eventually combine. Just keep stirring. You'll want to bring that to a boil and just give it a couple of stirs while that comes to temperature. And after it comes to a boil, just go ahead and turn down your heat, and you'll want to simmer this for about 10 minutes. You're just cooking those vegetables, melting that cheese, and it's really ready in hardly any time at all. It thickens up a little bit. And then go ahead and give this a taste, and you can make adjustments. Mine was perfect. I didn't need to add anything. You could add a drizzle of heavy cream. I enjoy doing that. I think it's delicious. But it's ready to serve up. I've had this at a couple of restaurants here in town, and this is one of the ways I saw it dressed at the end, and I thought it was very good. So just a drizzle of olive oil, some sour cream, and a few cranks of black pepper. And that is a delicious way to top this. You can get really fancy and put you a couple of your little freeze-dried asparagus tips on the top. How about that? Isn't that beautiful? And it tastes just as good as it looks. It's a delicious soup. My daughter, who is home from college, gave it a try, and she has given her stamp of approval. She loved it. So there you go, guys. Cream of asparagus soup from your freeze-dried ingredients. Well, I hope y'all like this one. Please give me a comment and a like. And thanks for watching. Until next time, y'all take care and keep thriving.